Hey, what's going on, Archons? I'm back. Yes, after, I don't want to say brief hiatus, it feels like it's been a minute and a half since I've been able to get in front of the mic and talk about KeyForge. Get in front of the camera, actually. Get behind the mic in front of the camera. That's where we're at. And I have to say, I haven't played much. Yeah, unfortunately, life has been in the forefront and spectacular stuff. Got married, so that was the main reason why I've been away for so long. And now I've come back to the podcast this week, and I've also, I guess it was 2 weeks now, and I've also been looking at the game differently. So I've decided to prioritize what I love about the game and from the past what I love when choosing to play, because now I have less time to play than I used to. And as a result, I want to be playing things that I love. So if you listen to the Help from Future Self episode, I mentioned I've abandoned my New Year's resolution for KeyForge, which is to play every deck I own. I got enough information and I realized that I'm not enjoying it the way I want to enjoy decks that I love. So I'm going back to my favorites that I have great memories, and I'm kind of sticking with those. But here's the cool part of this. So I think we're going to see some interesting things happen to the game now that it is under the stewardship / ownership of Ghost Galaxy. And I think some of the decks and archetypes from the past are going to change as we get into a new era of KeyForge through Ghost Galaxy. So that's kind of the reason why I want to start playing decks with this new mentality I have. And you're probably like, Blake, what's that mentality? Why are you just beating around the bush here? All right, well, we are seeing this mega board state happen. Very much a board state centric thing. Now, that may change when we get into Grim Reminders. Maybe I'm wrong in this prediction, but I think we're going to see a game that is played with having cards on the table and interacting with them. I think that is the direction that the game is going to be going. We've seen it already actually happen with the previous sets before this, the previous two, where it really had that feeling where you get the board and you utilize your board. And I think that's a very interesting way to be playing the game. It provides a fun and advantageous way of utilizing the cards that are on the table rather than just coming out of hand for a one-time effect. Obviously, action cards and such will exist, but the utilization of your board once you create a board state and the strategic decisions that can be made at that stage of the game, I think is really where we're going. And I like that. I think that creates a fun and rich playing experience. So I'm glad we're going there, if I'm correct. And as a result, I want to be playing my decks and seeing how the decks of old now can interact in that way. As I've mentioned a couple times on this, Coda Brobnar is really coming to the forefront of my playing experience and what I'm enjoying thoroughly. Something that is actually becoming less of something I want to have, but I mean, sometimes it's necessary, is Shadows Coda is not something I wanna rock with anymore. I don't enjoy playing it. Like, I mean, seems weird because that was all anyone was ever rocking at the beginning, but now I'm kind of in a place where I just don't find it interesting or exciting or enjoyable when I play. I think it has a purpose and it is extremely great at what it does, and we all know what that is. But I think that it doesn't provide the playing environment and experience that I'm now looking at when I'm rocking a game of KeyForge. So I'm kind of moving away from those decks. If it has it in a deck that has two other really great houses and the Shadows supports or has a burst capability, cool. But I really am not looking for that. So I think that's something that I found is interesting for myself based on how much I was striving and looking for it. And even in AOA, I'm finding that the Shadows is not doing it for me. Although there are Shadow suites in AOA that I do enjoy playing much more than Coda, which sounds weird to say out loud, but it's the truth. It's just what I'm gravitating towards and enjoying. So I'm curious what's going to survive when we really get to see the high level tournaments with the Ghost Galaxy sets in the mix. Like, what is of old going to still be around? Now, with that being said, last week there was obviously the incredible auction of Pink Fraud, which is, I said on the podcast, a Hall of Fame KeyForge deck. Won 2 Vault Tours, and I looked at the list. I was like, I wonder if this is one of those decks that will survive. It went for a pretty penny, and it made me wonder, is this the type of deck that could survive? Does it have the tools that will really get there in the end? Does it have its thing, and does that thing survive in the current game? So it's really interesting, because I think some decks that have won Vault Tours in the past, we're now going to see them probably come back, I'm hoping, and I'm wondering, will they still be able to hold up? Because there's going to be a few sets in the mix that haven't really gotten a chance to be a part of that gameplay, and I'm really excited in this next year, especially at Gen Con for that Nationals tournament. That's going to be the most interesting one for me. Now, some other things that have been on my mind is the fact that I'm in a state where I'm preparing. I find, like, I'm preparing to usher in a new state of KeyForge. I'm preparing to figure out what I want to keep and maybe what I want to let go of in my collection, because I've come to the point that no matter how many decks I have, and no matter how the application can be done through Alliance, there is a segment of decks that I do not think have a place in terms of I will most likely play them. So now I'm in this place where, what do I do? How do I come with these decks and do something that is productive or enjoyable, or I don't know, what do I do with these decks? I'm kind of in a stalemate. I wonder, if do I build Alliance decks from these, like find them and give them and teach people how to play the game through Alliance, and take things that are maybe super mediocre and can become solid. I won't say top tier, but solid from them, and just create these fun Alliance decks and introduce people to that side of the game. Because I truly think that Alliance is the future of KeyForge for bringing in new players. I'll say it again. I think Alliance is the future of KeyForge for bringing in new players. I think that is the best way we can get people from other competitive card games and the segments that they like, and bring them into the game that we love. And I have really come around on Alliance. I was never against it, but I've definitely come around to appreciating it in a different way than I did before. And yeah, like taking some of my favorite decks that have one house, and then I'm like, oh, I just wish this other house, this singular house in it, were just a bit better. So I'm going to be looking, maybe that is how I repurpose it, is create Alliance decks for people to learn how to play. Because one of the things, and you're going to hear about this in my next video, is getting my local stores with a way to pull players in. That's what I'm most interested in for 2023. I think that should be everyone's main goal, and I don't think we're at a place right now where we can do that. The obvious video that showed the new 2-player starter kits and learn how to play aspect is the right direction. I think those being in stores and a priority are going to be huge. And when that starts happening, that's when I want to kind of do this Alliance push to actually support that effort by Ghost Galaxy. And that's what I'd recommend for all of you, because yeah, I'm going to get into this more in the video to follow this one. But yeah, I'm excited for this new set. I think what tokens are doing and the interaction it provides for the game of KeyForge is really exciting, really innovative, and it's going to really push the boundaries of the way we are playing the game. And I can't wait to just see how this develops. And so we're in a state now where we all have Winds of Exchange. People are learning now to rock on TTS, Tabletop Simulator, and get those reps in. But we're all in a state where we know what it's about, and it's just a matter of, we need to get the product here. This feels like the Target pre-release with Worlds Collide, where we all got teased with these really cool aspects of the game that were new houses, new mechanics, and we're just waiting for it to officially come, so we just get more, because everyone just wants more now. The tease of Winds of Exchange was too real, and here we are. So this is where I'm at. I'm debating what's going to survive, what's going to happen in the secondary market as things progress. And how will the game be played? That's really what I want to see. And I want to see it at the high tournament level first, because that will have a ripple effect below it. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I do not think the major tournaments like Gen Con or any other Vault Tour are going to be the way that this game truly thrives. And I'll say it again. I do not think those right now, not period, but right now, I do not think those are the pathways for the game to truly thrive and grow at this point in time in 2023. So I'm going to leave that there with everyone, and be sure to tune in to next video where I kind of elaborate on this cryptic message that I gave at the end here. So hope you all enjoyed this, and as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.